Coming out of Saturday night's Democratic presidential debate in Iowa, Hillary Clinton has been taking some heat from her rivals, mostly for one moment from the debate. When pressed on her contributions from Wall Street, she justified them by saying this.
You know, not only do I have hundreds of thousands of donors, most of them small, and I'm very proud that for the first time, a majority of my donors are women, 60%. I represented New York, and I represented New York on 9/11. When we were attacked, where were we attacked? We were attacked in downtown Manhattan, where Wall Street is. I did spend a whole lot of time and effort helping them rebuild.
That 9/11 line has been getting a lot of heat for Hillary Clinton, including from the New York Times editorial page and also from her rivals. Yesterday in Iowa, we caught up with Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders. Here's their reaction to that 9/11 comment.
I thought last night was a pretty disgraceful moment when she tried to put out a smokescreen invoking 9/11 to hide the fact that she's taken millions in contributions from the big banks of Wall Street, not to mention all the hundreds of thousands and speaking fees. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I think I have no idea what the connection is between Secretary Clinton's efforts and all of our efforts to help rebuild New York City after that disaster with the fact that Wall Street contributors over her lifetime have been the major source of her funding.
Look, there is no campaign without gaffes. But in the first two debates, we've had two major gaffes, both of them from Secretary Clinton. I mean, we understand that a lot of Republicans attack her, but golly, does she have to keep giving them so much ammunition? The first gaffe was when she declared in the first debate that she's proudest to say that all Republicans are her enemies. Well, how the heck are you going to get much done in our country if you declare that all Republicans are your enemies? The second gaffe was last night in a very, very distasteful way, trying to pump out a smokescreen for her coziness with the big banks of Wall Street by invoking the tragedy of 9/11 and those attacks, especially so fresh after so many were murdered in Paris.
Sean, she's taken heat from all quarters on this 9/11 remark. Do you think it will linger and be a problem or fade away as the debate fades from memory?
I think it could linger and be a problem, or just because of the fact that it does get to one of the great vulnerabilities she has. I mean, it is the case that whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, being close to excessively close to Wall Street is not a positive place to be in terms of pure politics. And look, I mean, it is the case that she was a huge a recipient of Wall Street cash long before 9/11. And then there's the kind of cheapness of trying to invoke 9/11 to justify yourself. All of it, I think, is not great. It's not the kind of thing that's going to end her candidacy. It's not going to bring her down. But it is something that will be picked at and picked over for a long time to come, I think.
Unlike Sanders and O'Malley, Secretary Clinton has not taken any media questions, at least that we know of, since the debate. So she's not been asked about this. As her aides have been asked about it, they've tried to not seem defensive. They've tried to explain away what she said. But I suspect when she's asked about it, she's going to have to make remarks about it. There's a lot of private grumbling in Democratic quarters that this was not only something that was unfortunate to say, but to go to what Martin O'Malley said, they look at it as kind of an unforced error, when she was forced to go off her talking points in the debate, when she felt on the defensive about this issue of Wall Street contributions, she wasn't prepared with a smooth answer, and she kind of reached for 9/11 under circumstances that, again, most people, including the New York Times editorial board, felt was not an appropriate thing to do.
Yes, I think there's no doubt. There's no doubt, like I say, I think she's going to hear about it again and again. And, there is the question of the Clintons and money is a question of enduring interest, both for the press and for all of her rivals in both parties. No one is inclined to let Hillary Clinton off easy when she makes a mistake of the kind she made on that debate stage. And so I think no one is going to let her off easy this time any more than they ever do.
Yeah, it's interesting because you see in the fallout from the debate, that's the kind of thing that, as I said, everybody's attacking her for, including the Republicans, but also her Democratic rivals. And I think if it does start to die on its own, you're going to see it brought back up by O'Malley and Sanders and maybe by their supporters in ways both open and a little bit below the radar.
Right.
All right.